Perfect. All right, we're going to get started in just a moment, everyone. So I see a lot of you joining in. Okay. Okay, so we're going to get started. So thank you, first of all, TorontoJobs.ca for having me as a speaker today. I am Diana YK. I'm a former recruiter turned career coach, speaker, and trainer at My Marketability. I'm an expert at helping you differentiate your unique brand value, master your messages, and networking with confidence. I help ambitious professionals, leaders, and executives to find a meaningful career, navigate change, and differentiate as top talent to get hired and earn more. Throughout my work in one-on-one coaching and online training, I have helped thousands of clients globally in helping them get hired into top companies such as top tech companies, such as Apple, Amazon, Google, top financial services and banks such as Credit Suisse, RBC, TD, and top consulting firms such as BCG, Deloitte, and many more. So I'm super excited to be here with you to share with you some of my expertise and experience as well. Some of my recent highlight is helping recently my client who was in a product manager to get 2 offers last week with over 38% salary increase over 5 figures, and another new grad client helping him to negotiate salary with over 13% more. So things are picking up right now. I'm noticing there's more hiring going on. I just got a note right now. One of my clients just got a job offer on the spot after his case study interview, and I have like 7 other clients going for job interviews in the next couple of weeks. So I do want to give the message of hope for those who are looking for jobs. If you're here live, let me know what type of opportunities you're looking for and where you are from, okay? So a little personal story of my background. Before I started my business, I actually moved here to Canada when I was 16, all by myself. I had to overcome the language barrier, the culture shock, and my shyness as well. And even when I graduated from university, I applied for tons of jobs. I wasn't getting anything. And I really learned the power of networking. So throughout my entire career, prior to starting my business, a lot of the opportunities I've received were through networking and referrals. So my first job out of a university working at TELUS in operations, training, and marketing was actually attending a job fair, a networking session where I met the hiring manager, and that's how I got hired. And then my next opportunity when I got into management consulting at Accenture after my MBA, I actually got rejected initially, and I actually followed up with the hiring manager to let them know why I would be a good fit, and that my previous manager thought that would be a great fit there. So really leverage the power of relationships there. And then fast forward, I made a big transition from consulting into recruiting. And I was one of the first and only recruiters here in Google Canada to help them double their workforce that year there. So I have seen millions of LinkedIn profiles, over 20,000 resumes, and really have a good eye for what really differentiates top talent. And this is why I am here to share with you today on how to differentiate as top talent to get more opportunities. Okay, so are you guys ready? You guys can see my slides okay as well? Yeah, just want to make sure. Perfect. Before I move in. Perfect. Y'all said yes. All right. So I can tell that you guys are listening. Awesome. So let's dive right in here. Let's have some fun. And feel free to engage with others. Okay. So first of all, in order to differentiate, you got to think differently to differentiate. So what do I mean by this? Is that you want to think like an employer. So really put yourself in the employer's shoes, either the recruiter, the hiring manager. What are they looking for in an ideal candidate? What are the problems that they're looking for someone to solve in that open role? What are their pain points, right? When you really understand those problems that they're looking for someone to solve, it will help you tailor your messages accordingly there. Okay? And so think about what are the benefits of really hiring you by helping them solve those problems that they have. The next is to think like a marketer, right? So as marketers, oftentimes we need to think about the branding, right? How to really brand this product. So I want you to think about yourself as a product. How do you really differentiate, right? There's a saying here that says, features tell, benefits sell. So what are the benefits of hiring someone like you? Right? In marketing, they run marketing campaigns. So you can think about some job search campaigns. What can you do to really differentiate as well? So I'll give you an example. I had a client who was in sales. So for him, like networking was easy. He launched a job search campaign. And what he did was anytime he saw someone who checked out his profile, a recruiter or hiring manager, he would proactively follow up with them to start a conversation and to get some interview opportunities. So you can do something like that, a job search marketing campaign to stand out. Next is you want to think like a sales professional. So in sales, it's all about building trust and relationships with your clients. It's all about understanding their needs. So this goes the same as job search. In order for you to get the attention from the recruiter and hiring manager, you want to build those relationships with them. You also want to get to know them and for them to get to know you. So I'll give you an example. When I was a recruiter at Google, I had hundreds or thousands of people who wanted to connect with me at LinkedIn. And those who actually stood out are those who actually took the time to get to know me, the organization, the company, and for me to get to know them as well. And sometimes, there may not be openings at that time, but like learn to stay in touch. So a technique that some of them used was, especially more the mid-level professions that I was not recruiting at the time. I was recruiting for more senior account executive roles. The account managers, some of them that really stood out, they stayed in touch with me. They would check in with me every month or every quarter to give me an update of what they're up to check in to see how I'm doing. And then, 6 months later, like end of the year, I had like 20 plus account managers roles open. So those who stayed in touch with me were those who I were top of mind. And those were the people that I followed up with first to interview them for the opportunity there. So these are things I want to get you to start thinking is, what can I do differently besides applying for jobs online? Over 90% of the people that I talk to, the primary job search strategy is to apply for jobs online. And there's actually less than 3% chance of getting an interview by just applying for jobs online, right? On average, there's about 250 people who apply for one job. And so you really want to think about what other strategies can I apply to increase my chances, my odds to get an interview. So think outside the box. This is the next technique area that you want to really think about. What else can I do besides submitting my resume? So, for example, I'll give you some examples here. Like LinkedIn is such a powerful tool for job search. So besides optimizing your LinkedIn profile, other things you can do to really stand out include having like a video bio. So I've had some clients who did this recently where they recorded their own video bio and added to the feature section of the LinkedIn profile to stand out. I've seen people who created their own website with their own portfolio that tells a story. Like a new grad did something like that and got the attention of the CEO of an advertising company that got her a job. So there's many things that you can do to differentiate there. Or you can write long form articles or create about me slides to stand out as well. I've seen people who've done that and to really to get the attention. Actually, I had another client who actually created a video bio and applied for a job as their cover letter, and it got the attention of the CEO and got an interview the next day there. So I really want to challenge you to think differently to differentiate. Okay, so feel free to share with me some ideas here. Like, what are some things you can start doing differently besides applying for jobs online to help you generate more opportunities there? Okay, so next is I want to share with you some of the signs of high potential talent. This is based on my experience as a recruiter where I have seen millions of LinkedIn profiles and thousands of resumes. These are some of the consistent things that I've noticed that really differentiate someone as a high potential talent. So these are my P's. The first P is the progression. So progression is really showcasing that progression in your career. How have you grown in terms of responsibilities, scope of work, your leadership? How have you taken more? So when you tell your story, you want to showcase that growth trajectory there. The second is your performance. So the performance piece is really like your track record of success. This includes your achievements, your results, your recognition. Those are things that you want to highlight and provide tangible numbers. I call it quantify to qualify yourself, right? So it doesn't sound as fluffy there. If you were recognized as a high performer, these are the things that you want to highlight in your resume and LinkedIn profile and your story as well. The next is to highlight any promotions. So as a recruiter and hiring manager, if you had any promotions or a fast track career, these are things that you want to highlight as well, because this is also a sign of high potential talent. Next is the potential piece. So the potential is really connecting the dots to be able to showcase what are the possibilities to an employer. Like, how can you really help them solve their current problems, the current challenges that they have? Like, what is possible? And the last P is the personal brand, right? Studies show that it takes only 7 seconds for one to form a first impression about you. So your personal brand, essentially, it's who you are, what you're known for, and what's the value that you bring. So it's really critical to really think about, like, how do you want to brand yourself and how do you want to show up? All right, now I'm going to walk you through my formula on how to stand out to get more opportunities. So this is something that I've been talking about this year a lot throughout all my webinars that I've been doing. And I want to share with you this formula. And this is like something I want you to take away to think about, how can I actually improve in each area as well? Okay, are you guys ready? Awesome. So let's get started here. So the first is the likability. You want to increase the likability here. And so what that means is really that approachability, the friendliness is what you want to work on there. Let me walk you through the whole formula and I'll explain more. The next is the markability. Okay, so you want to increase that markability and increase your visibility and increase your credibility. Okay, by working on these 4 areas, it will help you stand out to get more opportunities. So let me elaborate further. So the first, likability is all about being personable, being friendly, being approachable. This really ties into your soft skills, the interpersonal skills, and the communication skills, right? Oftentimes, hiring decisions, at the end of the day, 85% is also based on the soft skills. Do I like you? Do I trust you? Do I want to work with you? Right. So this is where, if you feel like you're weak on the relationship rapport building skills or the communication skills, this is what you can work on improving there. So I'll give you an example. A few years ago, I had a client in the UK who wanted to come to Canada in consulting, HR consulting. He was applying for hundreds of jobs and did not get anything. And so he hired me to work with him. And once we started working together, this person is just super engaging, super personable, and I could see a lot of potential in him. So I introduced him to someone in my network after we worked on his branding and messaging. I connected with him with someone at Deloitte, at a consulting company, and they had an informational interview. And instead of just focusing on getting a job, I coached him on really focus on building the relationship, the trust and rapport, really showcasing curiosity and interest as well. As a result, my contact then, offered to help him, like, how can I help you? And she actually then introduced him to the partner at the company, which then led to a job offer at the end as a consultant there. So that's a likability piece for there. The markability is all about being markable. So this is really that whole marketing collateral that I talk about in your job search, which includes your personal brand, your resume, your LinkedIn profile, your cover letter, your elevator pitch. You want to make sure all of this is optimized and consistent across the board. You want to have compelling messages, and the keywords and key themes is really clear that people know what you're targeting, what you have to offer there. Okay, this is a piece where probably I would say that a lot of people need to spend a lot of time working. One of the common mistakes I see as a recruiter is that most of the time, most people just convey their responsibilities. And a responsibility is not enough because it really doesn't stand out or differentiate. So you really need to think about how did I do this work differently? How did I actually contribute? How did I add value? And those are the stories that you want to tell in all your marketing messages that make it sound interesting and impressive there. The next, the visibility, is all about being seen. So this ties into the networking, the online engagement, the content creation, right? It's being seen, that people know that you exist, that you are here, that you're looking for opportunities as well. So if you are just applying for jobs online and not networking, it's not going to be effective enough. As a coach, having worked with thousands of people now, majority of my clients find jobs through networking and referrals. I've only had a handful of people get offers through online application. So let me give you some examples around that. A few years ago, I had a new grad client, and he really wanted to get into investment banking. Now, he did not graduate from a top business school, so it was really hard to break into that industry. So he ended up networking with over 200 people in the industry, building relationships, learning about the industry, upgrading his skills and knowledge in that area. And eventually he got an offer with Credit Suisse, very competitive company to get hired into. But he put himself out there to learn, to build those relationships. And once he got that job offer, he sent out a thank you email to all those people to thank them along the way for helping him to get to where he is today there. The next example is the credibility. So this is all about being recognized. So you want to be recognized as top talent, an expert, a high performer, or get that go-to person for solving X problem. And have getting recommendations or referrals. That's really going to help increase your credibility, that you're known for something. So I'll give you an example. I had another client earlier this year. He was getting tons of interviews, but he wasn't closing. But he did have a really good credibility because he was a VP of engineering at a tech startup. And he was interviewing for Amazon, which is a really competitive company to get hired into. So we really worked on part of it is his branding, his messaging, his confidence, being very clear and concise as well. And at the end, after just 2 coaching sessions, he got the job offer with a huge significant salary increase. So the reason I tell you this is that when you think about all these areas, when you work on all these areas, it's going to elevate your personal brand. And as a result, it's going to elevate and increase your market value. So what I mean by that is it's going to help you attract more opportunities and increase your earning potential as well. Okay. So I really want to challenge you to think about like, what is also like my brand? How do I really differentiate? So remember, you want to be outstanding to stand out. So I want to walk you through how to identify your unique value here. Okay. This is a common challenge I hear from a lot of people. So I'm going to give you some things to think about. First is you want to think about your expertise, which is your knowledge, skills, strengths, and experience, plus your track record of success, which is your performance, achievements, and results. These are things that employer and recruiters want to know. So once you have done this assessment is you want to ask yourselves the so what question to connect the dots. What's the theme here? What's your unique value proposition that gives you a competitive edge? Now, I want to walk you through how to sell yourself effectively. Okay, so I talked a bit about the branding and the marketing. I want to talk about the selling yourself effectively here. You really want to master your glowing introduction, AKA your elevator pitch. Having worked with thousands of people now, and even last year as a career advisor at Schulich, met hundreds of students, I have noticed that most of the time people are not comfortable with selling themselves and they don't have a compelling elevator pitch. And so I want to challenge you to really think about like, what is your glowing introduction? You want to make it sound interesting, inspiring, and impressive. Keep it to within 2 minutes long, which is about 260 words. And then you also want to speak with assertiveness, confidence, and enthusiasm to ace your meeting or interview. Okay. Studies show 93% of your message impact is based on your body language and tone of voice, which is the nonverbal cues. Only 7% is based on words. So you also want to make sure that you are showing up with excitement and confidence in order to persuade and influence others there. Okay, so I'm going to give you that challenge is to write a compelling, glowing introduction. So my words of encouragement is to own your greatness. This is one of my favorite sayings. Stand out to get hired. Because when you own your greatness, that's when people can feel that you are confident in your own abilities, your expertise, and skills of what you have to offer to help an employer. Okay, so I hope you find this helpful. Now, if you want to learn more, I want to invite you to one of my upcoming events. It's a small, intimate event, a networking event called the Networking to Connect from Awkward to Awesome event, where it's on August 13th from 2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Time. You're going to learn how to have meaningful networking conversations and how to make a great first impression. I'm going to teach you also how to ask great questions as well. You're going to practice your marketing soundbite, which is your glowing introduction that I just talked about here, and have an opportunity to network with others. It's going to be through a Zoom meeting, through video, and you're going to receive some pre-training materials to craft your story. Okay, there's going to be limited seats because it's an intimate event there. So if you're interested, come on over to mymarketability.com/event, and I would love for you to join me there. Okay, so feel free to check that out. And if you want more, I invite you to visit my website at www.mymarketability.com. When you go there, you can sign up for my free 10-day job search mastery challenge, where you'll get 10 days of emails that will walk you through some key tips to help you elevate your marketability and your job search. And if we're not connected yet, I invite you to follow or connect with me on LinkedIn. I typically share daily tips on career, job search, networking, resumes, interviews, and many more. Or you can also visit my YouTube channel at My Marketability, where I have tons of free resources and webinars to help you with your career planning and job search. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found this valuable and helpful. And I'll be hanging around this afternoon, so feel free to chat with me here or network with me or connect with me on LinkedIn. All right? So thank you. So we are very good on timing here. Thank you so much, everyone. My pleasure. So great to see so many of you here today. All right, so I hope to see you. I'm going to be hanging around in the networking place as well. So if anyone wants to chat with me, I'll be seeing you there. Okay? Great to hear. So glad to hear that was helpful for you guys in a short presentation. All right, see you all soon.